Frisco, Texas, with the two young men that got into that altercation, and one of them losing their life, and due to one being black and one being white, there's been a whole lot of racial talk going on lately, and that has really sparked the need, I think, for me to draw these distinctions, right? Because we do have quite a few people who have came out and basically made the implication that it's a genetic issue with black people. I've seen quite a few white people hint at this or outright say it. And so that's caused black people to say, oh, look at you, black conservatives and this and that and all that other kind of stuff. But I think a lot of people are being lumped together. And so right now I just want to draw some distinctions between the groups because the groups are different. Don't get me wrong. In a lot of instances, there is some overlap, right? There are people who decide they want to be a part of multiple buckets. But at the end of the day, there are differences between these three groups. So you have black Republicans or black conservatives, you have black MAGA, and then you have black Christians. Now, once again, many of these groups do tend to overlap. However, these groups are not the same. So let's start off with a black conservative, a black Republican, right? A black Republican is somebody who identifies as a Republican, who votes as a Republican, who believes in traditional Republican values, small government, lower taxes, stuff like that. Like, for example, Condoleezza Rice is a black Republican. Colin Powell is a black Republican. Michael Steele are black Republicans, right? We probably have aunts and uncles, married, serious people, do business who are Republicans, right? Those are black Republicans, right? Then you have black MAGA, right? Black MAGA and black Republican are two different things. Now, once again, sometimes they overlap, but sometimes they don't, right? So, black MAGA typically are black people who don't necessarily always agree with the Republican establishment, right? They don't like the left at all, but they tend not to agree with the Republican establishment. Like they weren't voting for Jeb Bush. They don't like Jeb Bush. They're not liking some of these other people, right? So a black MAGA person and a black Republican are not necessarily the same thing, because oftentimes a black MAGA person does not agree with the establishment of the Republican Party. Like, they don't like what's the dude's name? The old Mitch McConnell. They don't like Mitch McConnell either. They don't like establishment Republicans. They would not support it. Basically, black MAGA, for the most part, they don't rock with Republicans who don't rock with Trump. They are mostly Trump supporters as opposed to Republican Party supporters. They're not going to be, like there's Colin Powell and those guys, and then there's black MAGA. Those are two different groups, right? But then we have the black Christian, and that's a completely different group. That's a group that I'm a part of, so I'm gonna talk mostly about that group. But let's break that down. Black Christians and black conservatives and black MAGA are not the same thing. Once again, there is some overlap sometimes, but if you are a black Christian, that means you believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. That's what that means. And so, because of what Christians believe, there are some times where there's going to be some agreement or some alignment with left, and maybe even at times some agreement and some alignment with MAGA. But here's the issue. Like, you can be a Republican and believe in small government and lower taxes, and you can even believe in, family structure. But that's not the same as being a Christian. Because also what we're seeing, like if you look at Elon Musk and a lot of the other guys that are on the right or are in MAGA right now, they don't prescribe to the whole traditional family values type of thing. They don't prescribe to the whole one man, one woman, married. They that's different. Like you could find a lot of guys, black guys in MAGA, who don't believe in marriage. You could probably find a lot of black Republicans who are not necessarily keen on marriage. That's the difference. A Christian has a very specific set of values, principles, and beliefs. And that at certain times, depending on what issues you're looking at, there may be some agreement or some alignment with the right. But Christianity and being a Republican or being MAGA are not the same. Not at all. Like I'm a black Christian. And so there are times where certain things are said and done on the right that I might agree with. But I would never, ever consider myself a Republican or a conservative or MAGA. I've never voted for a Republican in my entire life. Not saying I wouldn't, I just haven't seen one that I felt like I should have voted for. So, never voted Republican. Never seen me in a red hat. You've never seen me. Here's where the mix-up comes. Because unfortunately, there are people who have decided that they want to mix Christianity and MAGA and conservatism all into one big pot as if it's the same thing when it's not. And this is even something that Trump did that I strongly disagree with when he tried to put the Constitution with the Bible. Listen, the Constitution is a nice document, but it don't measure up to the Bible, and they should no way be paired together at all. It's two different types of things, right? And so here's the thing. We got too many black conservatives and black Republicans and black MAGA who are trying to put this Christian blanket on top of their political ideology. And it's like, no, you can't do that. Because there's been too many people talking about how Trump is an anointing for this and Trump is appointed for this and God is using Trump for this. And listen, you're doing too much. You are doing too much. And that's why so many people are lumping, black Christians and black conservatives and black MAGA all together, because you have too many people who are saying things that, quite frankly, they should not be saying. You got a lot of people speaking out of turn. That's the problem. Too many people speaking out of turn. And giving this divine nature to Trump that, based on what? These things are not the same at all. Now, once again, because of the political climate and a lot of these social issues, you're going to see more black Christians leaning towards the right these days. And you may even see some, and matter of fact, I have seen this. I've seen a good amount of black Christians who support Trump. And, that's the choice that they made. That's what they wanted to do. But once again, black MAGA and black Christian is not the same thing. Not even close. Because, think about it, if you're MAGA, what are you saying? You're saying that you support Donald Trump. You're saying that more than likely you're saying that you believe both political parties are corrupt. And things need to be shaken up and things need to be turned over and all. Okay, that's what you're saying if you're black MAGA. But what does that have to do with Jesus Christ being your Lord and Savior? Those are two completely different things. Right? The only thing that really meshes the groups together is that sometimes there's agreement on social issues. And sometimes there's an agreement on dislike of certain people and figures and thoughts on the left. Like, if I were to be honest with you, I would say that while I'm not a part of either party, I would say that right now, currently, I'm more comfortable with the stances that are on the right. More comfortable with it, right? Once again, I'm not a part of that group. Never voted for anybody. You never see me in a red hat. None of that. You know, but that's just what it is. But I just wanted to draw that distinction because I keep seeing certain things. I keep seeing people equating conservatism with Christianity. Conservatism is a political ideology that is not equivalent or comparable to Christianity. Those are two completely different things. I know, like, for political purposes and voting blocks and talking points, a lot of the people have tried to, merge these things together, but these are not the same thing. These are not the same thing. I just wanted to make sure we drew that distinction. Because nowadays, if you start talking about, if you start walking out your faith and talking out your faith and expressing your biblical beliefs, people go like, oh, you support Trump, or no. This don't have nothing to do with none of that at all. Those two things are not one. I just want to make that clear. Those things are not the same. Those are three distinct groups. I just want to make that clear.